What's up YouTube, my name is Rafael Santiago and today I'm going to teach you on how to finish a Spartan race. So I actually have pictures of the Spartan race that I did I believe this is November, October. So there's a picture of me. I have my gloves on, so I'm definitely going to recommend bringing gloves, and also you can see I have the CamelBak on, so just in case I was getting a little dehydrated, I could always drink water. In my CamelBak, I have a separate pouch that I could put food in, so I had some protein bars, just a little bit more carbs so I could have energy throughout the race. If you're doing these super long races, especially if they're a beast, you're going to get tired and you're going to want to have food on you. So some of the top people just go, like, they pretty much just eat and they just go straight with the 5 hours. A lot of people are not going to be in that kind of condition, and if you're watching this, you're probably not in that kind of condition if you're an elite, because you wouldn't be watching this video. So definitely recommend bringing a CamelBak, having a good supply of water. There are going to be water stations that are going to let you fill up your CamelBak. I filled up my CamelBak about 2 times during this race. This is a 10-mile one, so this is one of the medium races, so it wasn't too bad. And also notice I have gloves on. I use gloves because your hands can absolutely get scraped up. There's pins, there's needles on the floor sometimes, so I definitely recommend. I also use baseball gloves. I recommend using baseball gloves because they have the best grip, and obviously I used to play baseball and that used to help me out a lot, not lose the bat. So that's picture number 1. Have your gloves, have a water pack, and also you can see the pants I'm wearing in this picture. Wear compression pants. If you wear shorts, you can lose them during the race, and that would not be a fun time. Okay, so this is the second photo. I had the shirt on too, but it was actually getting a little bit too hot, even though it was 38 degrees in the morning. So having the bag too was essential because I could take off the shirt and put it in the bag, and it wasn't making me too hot. And there's not too much detail in this photo. I had the headband. I was doing it for the nice picture and everything, flexing the bicep, having the Puerto Rico shirt on. So shout out to Puerto Rico. And then in my last picture, you could have a little bit more detail. I still have the gloves on, but barely. I have this glove on. I actually remember that at one point. And I also have knee pads on. Knee pads are going to be absolutely essential when you are doing the Spartan race because you're going to be banging up your knees against a lot of rocks. You're going to be falling, and if you have that knee pad just to protect you for that little bit and absolutely save your knees. So I definitely recommend getting knee pads. I got my knee pads at Modell's, whatever it's called. And I got it for like $10 and I had 2 of them, so it's pretty cool. And also, another recommendation I have is getting trail running shoes. They absolutely help me, especially when it comes to going up hills. And depending on where you're going to be taking the Spartan race at, there's going to be a lot of hills. I live on the Appalachian Trail. The Spartan race, I'm not sure if it was directly on the Appalachian Trail, but the one I did was in Vernon, New Jersey. If you ever heard of Mount Creek, it is literally on that mountain. You had to go up and down, and it was still it rained the day before, so it was very slippery as you go up those hills. But having these, they almost act like cleats, but the bottom parts aren't metal, so you can still wear them like when you go out in public too, which is pretty awesome. They absolutely don't ruin the floor. So definitely recommend getting trail run. Tip number 2 is that I'm gonna recommend you guys run at least 3 to 4 times a week. 4 times might be a little bit too much. It depends on how you guys are recovering. It depends on what kind of lifestyle you're living. If you're more of like a track runner, you probably don't have to run as much as the average person because you're going to be in shape for it already. But I definitely recommend running 3 times a week, having 1 to 2 days of like short to medium run days, so about 3 to 5 miles. A short day I would say 3 miles, like a 30-minute run. 5 days is going to be a medium, and then push the last one. I say 8 to 12 miles, even 7 to 12 miles, depending on what kind of shape you're in. So depending on what race you're training for too. If you're training for a beast, you definitely want to push up to like those 12 miles during that one day of the week. It really does kill your knees. I do not like running, but it's going to be essential if you want to do well during these Spartan races. And if you're going to be doing a shorter race like a sprint, I could definitely recommend having probably the same thing, 3 days, having a 1-day 8-mile race, just 1-day 8-mile run. Because you're going to be doing hills, and I recommend doing hill training, but not a lot of people live in regions where they have a lot of hills. But if you do, I live on the Appalachian Trail. I live 1,108 feet above sea level, and I optimize my hill. So if not, I recommend using the Stairmaster. Doing stairs, I don't like to do stairs down. Using a Stairmaster I like because you go up, but using the Stairmaster, doing lunges, it's either you're doing weight training or you're doing stairs, or you can do both so you can get the benefits of both. So running at least 3 times a week is going to be optimal for you getting in shape for the Spartan. Alright, so I actually included one of the tips in the tips I just said before about running. So if you're not doing hill training, you want to make sure you're doing some kind of weight training for your legs, because there's going to be a lot of hills, depending on where you're doing the Spartan race too. But no matter what, just to have that advantage over everyone else if you are doing the hill training is going to make running on flat lines so much easier. I don't like running downhill, so if you're doing any kind of like stairs, make sure you're just not doing the bottom portion. I recommend using a Stairmaster. Just make sure you're at a steady pace with that, because that can absolutely destroy your legs over time. So the kind of weight training you want to do is you want to do kind of a mixture of like strongman, not too much bodybuilding, because your goal is not to become a bodybuilder, but to do strength training and endurance together, but not muscle building hypertrophy. If it's hard for you to contract the muscle, I'd recommend building up that muscle and then switching over to like powerlifting or a strongman or an endurance training program. So powerlifting is pretty low reps, same thing with endurance. It's actually opposite, is very high reps, so 15 to 20 reps. So the kind of exercises that you want to be doing are, one, farmer's carries are going to be absolutely essential, because you're going to be picking up a lot of stuff during the race. You're going to be picking up things from the floor, you're going to be picking up stones, you're going to be doing a lot of uphill lunges, so you want to make sure you be doing your lunges. I'm assuming you have good knee strength and everything. Also, you want to be doing a lot of rows, you want to be doing a lot of push-ups. So if you guys have a row machine at your gym, that's going to be an absolute great machine. It's going to be a great overall body workout. You want to be doing a lot of twists too, because your core, you want to be able to handle every kind of movement you are doing during the race. You might fall down and twist your body. You want to be able to make sure you come back from that. So doing a lot of Russian twists, a lot of cable twists too. So workouts that are pretty much going to hit every range of motion. If you can't do push-ups, build up, do some overhead press, do some tricep extensions to build up some tricep strength, so you can eventually do these kind of push-ups. Just make sure your elbows are not flared out, make sure your elbows are in when you're doing these kind of push-ups, and make sure your core is super tight. Doing planks, not recommending necessarily do sit-ups, but there's definitely a lot of other exercises that you could do that can build up your strength. Doing sprints is actually a really good, not necessarily resistance training, but a good way that if you feel that your legs are building up too much lactic acid, is actually a good way to prevent lactic acid if you keep doing, because you're building a lot of lactic acid and your body's going to get used to it. So when you go running after that, you're like, oh, like you're not going to build up as much lactic acid because you're doing the sprints, and your body's going to get used to it. So the kind of weight training you want to do is pretty much any pull, push, twist, and want to make sure you be doing some kind of cardio too. And also an isometric hold, which is also like a farmer's carry. And also sprints are actually really good. I actually like to do sprints on the row machine. Just make sure your back is in an upright position so you do not hurt your back. I'm gonna go over the tips I just gave you. So the first tip is that running at least 3 times a week. Have a two short or medium days and then 1 long day, just so your body has enough rest time, and then you're gonna be building up for that long day. And then when you're doing the race, do the first 2 days and then have enough rest time, and then your race will actually be that long day. Plus you're going to be doing a lot of other kind of training that's going to put a lot of stress on your body. So that was tip number 1. Tip number 2 is the kind of gear that you're going to be wearing. Like I said, having gloves, having elbow pads, having the Camelback, having the nutrition in the Camelback is going to be absolutely essential. You're going to see some of the top guys not do it, but if you're not at that level yet, I definitely recommend having the Camelback. Even me, like, I'm in a really good shape and I've done really well with the Spartan races. In my opinion, for the amount of training, the amount of progress I made, I recommend still having these things. You better be safe than sorry. Also wearing tight compression pants too. I'm not sure if I mentioned that before. If you wear shorts and the shorts fall off, that would not be a fun time, and no one wants to see your genitalia or anything like that. Awesome. Tip number 3, hill training. If you're not doing hill training, make sure you're doing some type of weight training. And then nutrition. Make sure you're carbing up the night before. Make sure you're getting your fats, your proteins in. Make sure everything is balanced. And in the morning time, have a good meal too. Not too much so you get a stomach ache, or too much is going on and you blow up and you throw up the next day. Having a sodium pill too is absolutely helped me with cramps. Having that banana too has absolutely helped me with the cramps. And that's pretty much it. I'm Rafael Santiago from SN Fitness, and I'll see you during our next video.